Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Doug Bruhnke on the line, and he's founder and CEO over at Global Chamber. Doug, welcome to the show.
Hello, Adam. Thank you.
Oh, man, Doug, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk about virtual techniques for growing your business, and by the definition of what you're doing over at Global Chamber, I mean, you're on the forefront of what it looks like to link people globally and globally. That being said, let's just dive right in. So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing at Global Chamber, please.
Our pleasure. When people hear about a chamber, different things come to their mind. We're not that. Because we're doing almost everything different and inverted from normal. And number one thing that we do different than most organizations, maybe all, is that we listen to what members need in terms of who do they want to be connected to, the person, which country, they want them as a client, they want them as a partner, whatever it ends up being, and we make a warm introduction, and it happens virtually. So this came about because I went to a really bad wine and cheese event in Carlsbad, California, and I thought after the long drive there and the time slogging through the bad wine and the bad cheese and not terribly great people either, that there's got to be a better way than kind of the old networking techniques. And so we accelerated it, we've made it virtual, and we connect people not just to their local community, but to communities around the U.S. and around the world.
Tell us a little bit more about the kind of scope when you say around the world. I mean, for the membership base, so I think, or the base, so I think 195 countries. I mean, give us a little bit more of that, just so people have a flavor of the organization.
So what that means is everywhere. So when I left that bad wine and cheese event, I drove actually back to Scottsdale, Arizona for 6 hours. So I had a lot to think about, and so during that time, I thought, let's got to be everywhere. To be able to do this, it can't be just U.S. It can't be select cities. It's basically got to be everywhere. So that summer, we basically looked at the entire world. We split it up into 525 sections, some of which are like the country of Cameroon, which is about 30 million. That's probably the biggest one. But places like Tokyo and LA and New York are big places as well. And it goes down to a place like Tucson, Arizona, where Arizona split into two sections because the state is kind of different on the southern side of it. So we've split the world that way. We've developed chapters and communities and activities within each one of those chapters. And then when somebody wants to grow or connect into whatever, say they want to go to Tokyo, they can just connect on their own. But if they want advice, they want connections, they want clients, they want whatever they need, we have people on the ground that can help.
Man, that is amazing. I love this idea, and it just makes so much sense. And first off, congrats. That's really ambitious. You're like, you know what? We're going to be everywhere. Like, I've been a member of the local chambers in the past and things like that, and I'm like, man, that was hard enough just kind of managing this little area over here on the west side of LA and at Century City. I'm like, he's connecting the world. Kudos to you, Doug.
Well, it's a long drive. That 6 hours from Carlsbad back to Scottsdale is a lot of thinking time. So an example of what you're saying is this morning I was on the phone to probably our new person, one of our new people in London, and he was saying there's 21 chambers of commerce in London, and he had been running one of the chambers in the North London Chamber, and when we started talking about Global Chamber, he was like, oh my God, so if you're really in tune with a certain neighborhood, you should join your local chamber. That's great. You should contribute to your local community. But if you really want to grow, even if it's across town, but definitely across borders, there's no other choice. And so we love what we're doing. We love making people happy, and so that's kind of what we're focused in on a day-to-day basis. So appreciate the opportunity to spend some time with you to talk more about it.
So let's go a little bit deeper into today's topic. So like I said, you're in the forefront of virtual techniques for growing businesses. I mean, you're obviously your member bases are using that to connect with people in different countries, and you're obviously using it to connect your overall community of the Global Chamber. So where do you want to start with this topic? Because a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, executives out there listening, and maybe they're wanting to do more things virtual, but they're just kind of not doing it yet.
Sure. Well, more than ever, we have to be creative and thoughtful about ways to grow, right? There's, whether it's today's environment or tomorrow's environment, it doesn't matter. There's always something in our way. And so my own experience with small and medium-sized businesses is often they don't know what they don't know. And so a key for what we try to do is get lots of information, the key information for them to grow their business in front of them proactively. So whether it's the warm introductions or educational seminars, which are all virtual, again, getting information in front of people so they can see new markets, ways to go to market, whether it's, from digital technologies like e-commerce. There's all sorts of things that businesses need to do. And when the market goes south, that often is the time when people move. And ideally, you want to move ahead of the market going south. But especially now, what we're seeing is a lot of people jumping into things like e-commerce, absolutely essential for many, many businesses. And so we're a resource. We virtual resource so that wherever people are and wherever they want to grow, we can help.
Let's talk a little bit more about, technology that you've seen and kind of what's been working for people. Any interesting trends or things that you've just noticed that just kind of excite you?
Yeah. So one of the things that we've started doing, and we're really excited about it because it's getting results, is using artificial intelligence in the connecting process. So we started out by, when a member comes on, we ask a bunch of questions, and we've refined those questions, and we think we're as good as you can get relative to finding out and understanding. The next step is, a bunch of us get in a room virtually, and we could kind of discuss through the database, like, who should we connect this person to? And that's okay, but it's limited by the number of people in the room. And so what we've started using is artificial intelligence. When we input the data and the information of what we're looking for, it starts to make recommendations on companies that might be a good connection, like a potential client. And it has data. Our database now has data where it identifies the fast-growing companies. And so anybody that's used the database knows if you've got a big number of contacts, many of them aren't in business anymore. Many of them aren't interested in doing any work. They're just kind of stable. But the ones that are growing are particularly interesting. So if the database can know who those are and that we can match up what people need for their business, magic happens. And so I think artificial intelligence by far is one of the most exciting things we're seeing in technology right now.
Man, that's a great example. I love that. So, Doug, that being said, final question. This is a two-part question. So a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, executives listening to this right now, and some of them, their interest is piqued. They're like, Global Chamber, this sounds really cool. So what are the right types of businesses and or individuals that are typically a good fit for Global Chamber? Question number one. Number two, what's the best way for them to reach out and to connect with you and your team?
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. So number one target for us are people that are actually doing international business. So the exporters, investors, and importers. That's like the core. Then around that, there are just companies that want to grow. And sometimes that means from LA to Chicago. And because we have Global Chamber Chicago and Global Chamber LA, and we have the ability to connect up, that can work too. So that's a secondary group. And then the third group are service providers. So the lawyers, the bankers, the consultants of every ilk, logistics suppliers, anybody that supports products and services being moved around the world. Those are great members of Global Chamber. And then finally, there's the community. So cities and ports and universities and other organizations that are kind of surrounding the business community. We're business. We're all business. We're all about making direct connections and providing direct information to businesses so they can grow. But it takes a village to be able to do that. So we've assembled the village through membership and through collaboration. We're the only organization in the world that is not only everywhere, but we collaborate with thousands of organizations because it does take a village. No one organization can do it all. We attempt to do it all, not just by our own efforts, but through our members and through our collaborating organizations. The way that people can contact us, you can definitely go to our website at globalchamber.org, and you'll see more information about how to contact us, and also you'll see all the different locations that we're on, and then hopefully some other resources as well. So it's globalchamber.org.
Fantastic. Well, Doug, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about the great work that you're doing over at Global Chamber, and also insights on growing a business virtually, and how your members have been able to do it, and how you're also using the technology to help the chamber grow and thrive also. So great stuff there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Business, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. I'd love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Doug, thanks again for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you, Adam.